Welcome back to another Titan Esports interview, and well, we have a kind of a special interview here since we have someone in their car who is dedicated enough to take the time while they're not driving, but parked in a very safe location, as you can see on your screen there. This is Elysium, and I will talk about the other name attached to this Elysium team in the Conqueror League a little bit later as my first question. But this is Elysium's Aero, support for one of their teams in the Conqueror League. Aero, how are you doing today? And thanks for taking the time.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. First question for you, before we even get into you as a player here. This team is called Elysium, and again, this could be something that's well known. Maybe it's my lack of knowledge. I don't know. What the hell is YGG Drazel? What is that?
It's pronounced Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil, depending on what lore you want to use. Yggdrasil is used in like Nordic mythology as kind of similar to what Elysium is, so like paradise kind of thing. Yggdrasil in D&D lore is the name of the world tree that provides magic to everywhere, and then Yggdrasil for Digimon is the name of like the main computer that the world is in. So Yggdrasil and most things is just like all the overall seeing big eye in the sky kind of thing. So that's what Yggdrasil is.
Cool. I had to ask because I got embarrassed the last time I asked about a team's name, and I think it might have been another Elysium team. I asked what a Lopunny was, and Lopunny was a Pokemon. It's like, bro,
it's a Pokemon. Yeah, that was an Elysium team.
How can I be so uncultured to not know Lopunny is a Pokemon? Anyways, that one was a little bit more difficult, but you knew about it. That's pretty cool. Pretty nice team name. As for you, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, give us a little bit about your history competing in Amateur League of Legends and also Titan itself.
Let's see. I mean, the amateur in general for me goes back a long time. I think I've been playing Amateur League of Legends since like 2015, maybe 2016. I started off in a league because I was bronze, so I started off in a league called League of Bronze Series, which was run through like a Facebook group. And then I really liked it, and like the team I was playing on wanted to continue, so we went to a league called Compete League. This was back in like 2016, and it was really fun. I've enjoyed Amateur. I stopped playing Amateur for a while when I joined Compete League, because I decided I wanted to try to run Amateur. So I became a TO for Compete League and worked my way up, which was an established company until Compete League got bought out. And then I started playing again on various teams in like Blue Water. I helped found Blue Water League. I helped found Zero Gravity or ZGG. I was an admin for Risen. At one point I was an admin in Titan. I've been an admin in Victorious. So most of my competitive history is like actually helping TOs and being a TO. And then I started playing again back in like 2017. And I've just played in various, like pretty much all the main leagues that are around here. Aegis, Titan, Blue Water, and the jungler on my team, Guster Posey, him and I have been on the same competitive teams because we both ran Compete League together. Then we started playing on the same teams together, and we've been playing on the same teams for probably like 8 years now. So I really don't go anywhere without him. He doesn't go anywhere without me. But that's really like my amateur scene, like history is just a lot of TOing and a lot of playing with the same people over and over again.
Wow, that is. So you're a seasoned vet when it comes to this stuff. Someone with a rich
I am
history.
One of the old guys. Yeah, I'm one of the old guys.
What the youngins these days call those the unks. You're one of the unks of the industry.
I'm one of the unks.
Yeah. So there you go. That's pretty awesome. Being a part of organizations that have gone up as high as the NACL with Blue Water. That's insane to be a part of all that and to have that history there. And you mentioned you've played with Guster Posey your whole career. You guys are like a package deal when it comes to these teams. Also, if my memory serves me correctly, I remember casting BOL Premier back in March-ish time, and I believe this team that you have here in Conqueror is the exact same as that team back in BOL. So give me the history of this stack of 5 players. Like, is this your second time playing all together? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe all 5 of you have played on the same team before.
So the core 4 of me, Gus, Dilly, and Yikal, we've been a foursome for I think like 3 years now. The 4 of us actually came together in TA, I think, or maybe right after TA is when we picked up Yikal. But I've been Dilly's support, and he's been my ADC for I think about 3 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, 2.5, 3 years for me and Dilly as a bot lane duo. That's when we brought him in. Then after TA had their thing that happened, we went to our buddy Andy, so Kobita. We went to their organization, Sprouts, and that's where we picked up Yikal. So we were a 5-stack for, I think we played in Titan Divinity as a 5-stack like 2 or 3 times. And then we've essentially just been like rotating. We went to Dynasty for a little while as a 5-stack. Then we came to Elysium as a 5-stack. We were Elysium Omen for quite a few splits. And then ever since Andy or Kobita retired from mid lane, we've kind of just been playing as 4, so top jungle, ADC support, and then just interchanging mids wherever, like every split we'll just get a new mid laner until we find someone that sticks. So when we won Premier, we had Naysayer, he was our mid laner. And Stash or Cordelia, we picked up while we were in Dynasty. We played with him off and on, just like as a sub mid laner. But this is the first time he's actually starting on a roster with us. So the main roster of this, like if you want to look at like Elysium and like the 4 players, it's really Yikal, Guster, me, and Dilly. We haven't had a mid laner that's lasted like as long as the 4 of us have lasted, but mainly because, you know, mid laners are a little harder to find. But the story behind that is we don't really care if we win or lose. The 4 of us and the 5 of us, really, like whoever's on the team, we just enjoy playing with our friends and just want to play together. So we don't really care if we win or lose. It's nice that we win sometimes. It's nice that we're seen as like a decent team of 4, and it really helps that we stay together as long as we do and as much as we do, just because like comms become a point to where like we don't even have to talk to each other or say anything in comms to know what the other one's going to do. So most of our success probably comes out of like just flat out team synergy rather than like individual plays and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the 4 of us have been the main like 4 switching mid laners pretty much every split.
That's awesome, and that's really fun. You know, the fact that you do get to play with these people who you've grown so close to over the countless times you guys have played together, and the fact that you continue to get those opportunities to do that, and you really appreciate just each other on the same team so much so that even if the results aren't quite there, it's just the time that you're able to spend with your friends playing the game that you like to play. That's what it's really all about. And throughout the multitude of interviews that I've had the pleasure of doing over the past week and a bit, there's been a lot of org owners themselves that have said that's the main reason I started this organization, was to have people get a place to play with their friends, and just enjoy this game in a competitive, semi-competitive environment. So I think that is very awesome and a great story to tell, and for people to know about you guys if they are watching, you know, the Conqueror streams and all that. That's great stuff.
Yeah, and the friendships that we make like with these teammates transcend even this game. I mean, different rosters, but before I was even part of Elysium, Gus and I had our own organization called Crosspoint, and we had the same consistent 5-man roster for 4 years. So if you times, 12 splits, we played with the same 5 people straight. So we never took any breaks or anything like that. And I mean, like, I've met Gus in person. Like when I live in Chicago, so when like LCS finals were in Chicago, a bunch of league friends that I played on teams with for years, they came here and stayed at my house, and we went to the finals together. Or I mean, my wife's currently pregnant. She's 7.5 months pregnant, so I'm expecting a baby in September.
Congrats.
Thank you. But Gus is coming to the baby. He lives in Nevada. He's flying here for the baby shower. Like Gus is like that's the goal, is like just outside of that, when we're all said and done playing these games and stuff like that, these aren't people I'm going to stop talking to. When I'm done playing League and everything like that, I'm still going to talk to Gus every day. I'll still talk to Dilly. I'll still talk to Call and all the players, because outside of the game, they're at this point in life, they're just friends. I mean, the average age of my team is 28. So we're past the point of trying to go pro, and now it's literally what you said, building friendships, and we all just happen to play the same game together. So it transcends League of Legends.
That's incredible. I was doing a little bit of research beforehand, before we kind of went and recorded this here, and I noticed that I just on the memory of BOL Premier, I remembered that you guys had a very similar squad. So I was ready to ask you the question of, what's it like playing with a similar team? And I did not know the whole treasure trove of lore that I was going to unlock here in a very inspiring story that you have with all of these players. And now also we know you're very close life friends. That is incredible stuff there. And yeah, like I said before, congrats on for you and your wife on the upcoming child. That's very exciting. And wow, I mean, that is a whole lot of stuff just from talking about you guys as a team. I think that's fantastic. We'll now transition over to your season here in Conqueror. You guys are sitting at a record of, let me double check it here, 3-2. So you're sitting at that third place spot. You're in an area for playoffs right now. You've taken 2 losses. Obviously, in a perfect world, you'd be 5-0. What would you say would be the team that you guys are looking to improve, if anything, right now to reach a consistent winning state?
I don't know. I don't know that I understand the question or the way that you phrased it.
Just what maybe
personally
you can make. I'll simplify it to maybe what are you guys trying to improve on the most as of right now as a team? If
honestly, being 5, I think the first loss that we took, I don't remember who we lost to the first time, but I know the loss that we had last time, Dilly wasn't there. So we threw Gus ADC and we brought in a support, a sub jungler. The primary issue that we have is the fact that we're all not older, but life happens. So, and this happened in Premier too. In Premier, we played every week was a different roster. We had the 5 starters, but it was far and few between where all 5 starters showed up. So I missed last week's games because I was on vacation. Dilly missed the week before that. So primarily the thing we're working on is just scheduling, making sure all 5 starters are there. And then it's pretty easy going from there. Just making sure that we're all actually there for game time. That's really all we really need to do.
Well, hey, sometimes real life is your biggest op when it comes to trying to get some wins on the board here. So, yeah, I mean, good luck with the scheduling of things and getting everyone there. But as of now, despite all of that, you guys are still, and like I said, 3rd place in Group D, still a very good spot, 3-2. You've taken wins, a 2-0 win over some of the top teams in your group, like Laughing Clouds, for example. Your next match is against Dorado, who is directly below you in the standings. So a very big match when it comes to placements for that playoffs as we get closer and closer to that area. Have you scouted this Dorado team at all? Do you have any upcoming thoughts for that? I know it's not until Wednesday, but is there any thoughts on your mind ahead of that matchup?
Just Dorado just being a bigger name in the scene and everything like that. It's kind of you always respect your opponent. I don't personally know who's on the roster. I just know, Dorado, I've played against them for years at this point. As far as scouting goes, I don't I don't play a major part in like a lot of like the leading up. Most of my input comes in during draft or anything like that. So I don't, I couldn't tell you who the roster is, but I know that we're looking forward to playing them, whether it's easy, hard, or anything like that. Just because playing against other known orgs is always just a fun time.
Absolutely, yeah. 2 seasoned organizations in amateur across all of the different leagues, like Blue Water, like Aegis. It kind of, I don't know if there is any type of Elysium Dorado rivalry, maybe a little bit of it, but these types of things start to build up in storylines and everything the more and more seasons that these teams participate in. As my last question to you before we go to shoutouts here, this is kind of a question I've been asking pretty much everyone I've been interviewing, but do you have any personal goals for this specific season? Now, you as a veteran, maybe what would that be at this stage of your amateur career? Anything you're trying to work on with your game or your communication at all? If there is one thing that you're trying to improve the most this season, what would that be?
I mean, we're all pretty content,
right?
Like with where we're at and how we're playing. Like I said, none of us are trying to go pro. I mean, I only play ranked because I have weekly rank requirements.
Yeah.
I basically play the minimum amount of games required each season, so it's hard to really tell who can be higher, who can get better, that kind of stuff. And for the most part, our goal is just do the best we can, win the split if possible, and if not, we'll figure out what happened and kind of work on that. But it changes week to week. This week it might be air communication was bad, or someone had an off day and just wasn't speaking or was upset. And we take what happened last week and work on that for the next week, because nothing else was really quote unquote broken. So let's fix what happened last week into this week, and then we should be good. As we get closer to playoffs, and when we get into playoffs, there's like a bigger emphasis on, okay, regular season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the record was. We all made playoffs, and then we'll kind of like buckle down, scrim more, focus a little bit more on like draft and everything like that prior to game day. But honestly, like I said in the beginning, and like we've kind of just been the main theme of this, is just have fun. No one tilts on that on this team. That's one big thing, is like I can be 0-10 and I'm still laughing and having a good time. So that's really all we really care about.
That's awesome. And again, this has been a fantastic interview. We learned so much about this group of 4, their history, your history. You've already really kind of shouted out your whole team here and kind of given them their flowers in the sense that of what they've done for you, for your friendships. But if there's any more shout outs to give, and you can even shout them out again, I'll leave the floor open to you before we close out.
Yeah, just mainly shout outs to the boys on the team, Gus, Dilly, Alec, and then Stash. So those guys, Andy, who's the best mascot cheerleader we've got, Caleb / Naysayer for just letting us continue to play together and giving us a team spot in Elysium, and then Sems for Titan in general. Sems has come a long way and done a lot with Titan, and I'm very thankful for that and what he offers the community. And then only you, Faris, for just doing this interview and scheduling it and dealing with a reschedule that I gave you. So I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. It's for the love of the game. Thanks for the shout out there, and thanks for taking the time for this interview, even in your car, pulling over to the side of the road to make it happen.
I promise I parked, so I'm just kind of in the middle of the field right now.
You gave the proof. I made sure, too, so no one come at me for saying he was forcing him to do it while he drove. No, I made sure everything was safe, everything was good. Thank you so much for the interview, and that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and watched it. Stay tuned for more interviews in the future, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm Faris, Shoutcaster here at Titan Esports. Have a wonderful day.